Welcome to Smart in the City, the Babel podcast where we bring together top actors in the smart city arena, sparking dialogues and interactions around the stakeholders and themes most prevalent for today's citizens and tomorrow's generations. I am your host, Tamlin Shimizu, and I hope you will enjoy this episode and gain knowledge and connections to accelerate the change for a better urban life. Smart in the City is brought to you by Babel Smart Cities. We enable processes from research and strategy development to co-creation and implementation. To learn more about us, please visit the Babel platform at babel-smartcities.eu. So we are live at the Urban Future Conference, back with another great episode with you today. So we're sitting in Stuttgart, Germany, in a heat wave, also, might I add. And I've had the opportunity already to meet with many urban stakeholders at this fantastic event. So big thank you to Urban Future for allowing us to be media partners and getting to talk to great stakeholders. One of those is the lovely gentleman sitting across from me right now. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Oriol Estela Barnet. He's the general coordinator of the Metropolitan Strategic Plan Association of Barcelona, or otherwise known as PMB. Welcome onto the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I also mentioned this title, but I also understand that you are doing things in the Barcelona Neighborhood Plan, the scientific board of the Barcelona Innovation Foundation, and other things. So you must be a busy man.
Well, no, these are responsibilities that come along with the other titles. So as a representative of the Metropolitan Strategic Plan, I have to be in other boards and in other places. Yeah,
absolutely. So usually I say that we warm up with a question, but at Urban Future, when it's been so hot, I've been saying cooling down. So let's do a little cool down question. Since I guess you just landed in Stuttgart last night or yesterday, but so far, what do you think are the biggest differences and biggest commonalities between Stuttgart and Barcelona?
Oh, wow. The first thing is that I've been surprised not to find a city center, an old city center like we have, for instance, in Barcelona, in other cities. I suppose that it is due to history and
yes,
and events that happen in this part of the world. But this is one thing, that trying to find the city center is not easy if you only look to the buildings. And the other one, of course, is size, because the airport is very close to the city. You have the metro going there, and in the route from the airport to the city center, you have a lot of different landscapes. No, you have an industrial one, and I think it's a trade fair also near the airport. But then you have even forests, and you go under, and then you go up, and it's a very nice trip from the airport to the city, and it looks like a human city. No, I've seen a lot of bicycles and. I think it's a nice city. I don't know it very much. But
is it your first time here?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Okay, well, welcome. Really glad to have you. Yeah, nobody says that Stuttgart really is the most beautiful city, or might not be as well known as the Barcelonas, but I think it has a very high livability, as a couple of the points that you just mentioned. So, absolutely. So I want to dig into your background now. Give the people all your wealth of knowledge on where did you come from? How did you get here? I understand you have a background as an economist and a geographer. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, first I had my degree in economics, but immediately I started working in a consultancy firm that work in different places in Spain, different cities. I worked first in Andalusia and Galicia and so. And I was involved in this field of the local economic development that I never heard about in the university. And I found exciting how to help cities, how to help places to thrive, to develop, to have more economic activity and more, of course, quality of life for the citizens. And I started working on local strategic development plans and local economic development plans. Back in this was in '95, and after 10 years working on the consultancy, in the private consultancy, but for local governments, I started working at the Barcelona Provincial Council, that covers 311 municipalities. One of them is the city of Barcelona, but in this 311 municipalities, you can find rural municipalities as well. The smallest one in terms of inhabitants has 28 inhabitants. So it's a very,
28.
Yeah, 28, not 28,000. No, 28. And this is for me, it has been a magnificent school. It's an amazing school of learning about the territory, the differences, the urban, the rural, and so on. And that's the reason that I decided then to become geographer, because I'm economist, but I don't know about territory. And to work in my position now, I define myself as a professional of local economic development. And I think that the combination of economics and geography, it's perfect. Now I need some of anthropology or maybe some of, I don't know, other fields of expertise, but knowledge. But for me, this combination has worked. And then in 2016, I became a civil servant for the Provincial Council of Barcelona, and I was working as a head of the local economic strategies at that time. But in 2016, they appoint me to the position of the general coordinator of the Metropolitan Strategic Plan. That it was one of the places that I thought, where will I retire? And one of the two places that I had in mind was the Metropolitan Strategic Plan, because I said I want to apply all my wisdom in my own city and in my own metropolitan region. But I had the opportunity to do this.
Incredible. So this is it for you. This is the end game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of things to do, and maybe not only in the metropolitan region of Barcelona, but of course it's a landmark for me to be part of this. Yeah.
Incredible journey. I love to hear about that. And can you now talk about what does it mean to be general coordinator? What do you do?
It was right now, after 7 years, now I am managing an amazing team of about 15 people that we have been working together, especially for the last 4 years, building this Metropolitan Commitment 2030, the new strategic plan for the metropolitan region of Barcelona. And we have created a team that is able to facilitate, to incubate projects. We are like a platform for cooperation. I think that it's one of the most wonderful things that you can do, and the most useful things that you can do when you work for the city, for the future of your city or of your metropolitan area or region. That is how to make all the stakeholders and all the actors and all the organizations and all the people that is doing good things for the future to collaborate, to work together, and to find new ways of new alliances, unexpected alliances sometimes, with organizations that never met, but you are able to put them in contact and to make them see that what you are doing is something that can match with what others are doing. And that is my work right now. Well, these days I am explaining this a lot because the strategic plan is very new. So I am like a public relations now for the strategic plan.
Doing a lot of communications, other podcasts maybe.
And conferences and so. But the most important thing is to pilot this team. That I think that is an amazing thing that can do extraordinary things in terms of building alliances and building cooperation.
I love that. I actually have a session just after this on unlikely partnerships here that I'm doing together with BlockSub. What I'm wondering if you can give an example of you mentioned an unlikely partnership. Is there an example you think of?
Well, the most typical example is this big institution. For instance, we have in Barcelona, we have worked a lot in the food policies area, the food strategy, and we had the main market, the wholesale market, the wholesale food market in Barcelona. That is, it's like a city itself. It's a very big company. It's a public company, but of course it works with private operators, and we there has been always a fight between the producers, local producers, the small local producers, with this big market, because this big market brings food from all over the world, and it was very difficult to make them sit in the same table and to talk about cooperation, about things to do together, and we achieved this goal. A couple of years ago, we started working on a new project that means like building something like this wholesale food market, but at a small scale and devoted to local producers. And when you see these results, that the cooperation works, because there's someone like our team is, there's an institution that is devoted to cooperation and to make others work together. It works because we always meet and we'll talk to each other, or are part of different organizations or platforms that or networks, and chat about things that we must do. But then everyone goes back home and has their own businesses. If you have a team that is that its main role is to make things happen, we always say we started being 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, a think tank, and now we are a think and make others do tank.
I love that.
If possible, think and do tank, but we are not that powerful as to do a lot of things. But what is the most important thing is that we can make others do things.
So you're the one pushing and pulling a lot of these pieces together, right? Awesome. So I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about the biggest challenges that you think the metropolitan region are facing today.
Mm-hmm. In our case, one of the biggest challenges, so we have different types of challenges. There is one challenge that is the governance challenge. So it's how to make this metropolitan region, that is the real city for us, to work and to have policies at this scale and projects at this scale. And as we don't have a government for this territory that covers more than 150 municipalities, 5 million inhabitants. We don't have the typical governance structures. We don't have a government, we don't have a budget, we don't have agencies at this scale. But we, in the process of making the Metropolitan Commitment 2030, we have identified a lot of several fields of action, or several challenges that must be faced from this scale. And that's what we have been done all this time, to identifying what makes sense to face from the metropolitan region and scale, and what governance tools can we build bottom up in this case, because there will be no new government for this area, but we need to build bottom-up governance tools, and that's, for us, is the most important challenge right now. Linked to this, there's another challenge that is in Spain. There is only one metropolitan area as an institution, formal institution, that is in Barcelona for the metropolitan area. So we don't have national policy supporting metropolitan policies because there's only one, so it makes no. And now that we have national elections in Spain in July, we will have national elections. We are in a campaign right now to make the political parties that will be in the elections to think about the metropolitan structure of a country like Spain, that we have big cities, Madrid, Zaragoza, Sevilla, Bilbao, etc. We need metropolitan governance tools, in this case from top down. So we have to match this. This is in terms of how to function. In terms of the challenge for the society, of course, is inequalities. We have, so Barcelona is a success case, it's a city that you can use as a model for several things, Since the Olympic Games in 1992, it was the second or third tier city in the world, and now it's among the most important cities in the world in all the, creativity, entrepreneurship, innovation rankings, and so on and so forth. It was impossible to think that this would happen back in the 1980s, when the strategic planning started in Barcelona. And But all this success has the counterside that is the inequalities. The inequalities have grown a lot, especially since 2008. And that means that our development model was weak, was not that strong, was not that resilient, as we say now, because things are on worse and worse for a lot of people. And we have inequalities, both social and both territorial. So we have areas, big areas in the metropolitan region that are becoming big, deprived neighborhoods, vulnerable neighborhoods, and that they have not taken advantage of the progress of the city in these past 30, 40 years. So we must address these inequalities at all levels. And then, of course, climate change is the global challenge for all. So how to combine this environmental justice, or the fair transition in front of the climate emergency is one of the biggest concerns.
Complex, big challenges that you're tackling there. So I guess then you have a lot of really good material in this commitment, but how would you advise? So how do the practitioners on the ground implementing, the managers, the project managers, all of these types of people, how can they bring this vision to life in their everyday work? What do you think?
Well, one of the things that we have done, this Metropolitan Commitment 2030 is based on 8 big missions in different areas. So we have the food mission, the mobility mission, the housing mission, and for each of these missions, we have identified an already existing organization or institution or network, multi-stakeholder organization, network, or institution, and we are embedded in them. So they have adopted adopt a mission. So they have adopted the mission agenda, and we are working together to make things happen, to make others do. All these organizations in the field, that work in the neighborhoods, that work in all the metropolitan region territory, work together. And one of the things that is together with this, we are working on what we call the decalogues. That is 10 things that a school can do, a family can do, a small shop can do, a municipality can do, and so on and so forth, just to make people realize that everyone can contribute to this mission. The mission has a specific goal, and a strategic goal defined, and what we do is to align all the different stakeholders and all the people that can contribute to these missions to work together and to build new alliances, to develop new tools for work, starting with data, because we don't have so many indicators at metropolitan region level. So it's important to have the information, to have the indicators, the data at this level, and creating new collaboration processes. So this is our work, to involve all the stakeholders, no matter the size, no matter the power that they have. So anyone can contribute to the Metropolitan Commitment 2030 and its missions. And we invite, if someone doesn't know how to contribute, just come to visit us and we will explain to you, and we will put you in contact with other stakeholders, no matter public, private, the academy, social organizations. We have a huge ecosystem of stakeholders, and they have been cooperating with us, more than 700 institutions and organizations. So this is the way that we work, just making them, involving them in the development of the Metropolitan Commitment.
I will tell our Barcelona office on how to get more involved with you all.
Yeah. Yes, because one thing that we have introduced, one innovation that we have introduced in this strategic plan is that usually you say that cities work with the quadruple helix. It's the public, the private, the academy, and citizens. And we have added a fifth one, because it's media. Because media is very important for us, because it's not easy to explain what means being metropolitan or acting metropolitan. So people is tied to the neighborhood or the city, the municipality. But when it comes to work, at metropolitan level, or to make people think at metropolitan level, is something that is not easy for them. And it's not easy for the media to understand, and it's even not easy for the politicians to understand. What do we mean when we are proposing metropolitan strategies, metropolitan policies, and metropolitan solutions to the challenges that we face? So media is important. So please, join.
We do media, of course, with the podcast, and then we're involved in so many other areas too that are overlapping with everything to do with urban innovation and things like that. So I think it would be really good to get more involved. It's great that you're so hands-on also, because when you think of strategic planning, you don't necessarily think like hands-on, like bringing people together. You think like, oh, you make a plan and you leave it, right? But you're really taking this hands-on approach, saying, hey, this is our mission, getting everybody on board to the mission, and then seeing how you can push that through to the other stakeholders, right?
That's the difference. Since 2016, we've been working to transform the think tank that we were into a
tank.
a team that we've been trained in the design thinking processes and prototyping and facilitation and everything that can make us be the institution that we want. That is a hub for the metropolitan policies and innovation.
Yeah, wonderful. I really like that approach. So I want to talk also about do you have any more? What does the future hold? Do you have any upcoming initiatives? What's going on in the future?
Well, so one thing is building, finishing all the process and building the governance of the 8 missions, because now we have identified and we have the agreements with the 8 institutions, networks, blah, blah, that will pilot the missions. But now we have to develop this and to build new indicators and so on, the way that we will work. But in the meantime, we have the opportunity of European funds and next generation funds, and we have identified several opportunities linked to the missions. And now we are applying, I think, in 6 or 7 different projects with all of them with different stakeholders to develop projects at metropolitan region level. That's one thing to do. And this year, very recently, we have had elections in Barcelona, local elections. Now we will have national elections. And of course, we are a public-private partnership, and the public part is like
on standstill right now.
So we must wait a little bit to have more attention from them. But this is one thing. And the other very important thing for us that we are working on now is an urban-rural pact. Because we understand the metropolis not as something with its urban walls and separate from the rest of the territory, in this case from the rest of Catalonia. We really believe that if we have a strong metropolis and strong in the terms of planning, strong in terms of well-articulated networks of cities around this concept of metropolis, if you want, the rural areas will be more sustainable and will be easier for the rural areas to progress. Because otherwise, if you leave the metropolitan areas, the metropolitan regions to them, let's say, market forces, or you don't plan them or so, they become black holes. And they absorb everything, all the investments, all the high-level jobs, and everything goes. Even in Barcelona, tourists, everything is the trend is to concentrate in the big city and the city center and the most important, the core of the metropolis. And we don't want this because we think that this is not the future, and this makes everything unsustainable. And for instance, in terms of commuting, because we have a lot of commuting that is mainly from the outskirts, from the metropolitan region to the city center, to Barcelona. Every day, 400,000 cars come and go from the metropolitan region to the city of Barcelona. And this is not sustainable. So for us, this idea of an urban-rural pact in order to manage properly water, energy, food, and even people, even talent, all these resources, and to find ways to make it more equitable. It's a very important, and we are working on this, and we are working with the regional government of Catalonia, which is very important.
Yeah,
the involvement of the regional government.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a couple questions that I'm trying to think about it also from a couple different perspectives here. I was wondering if you can put on your economist hat and say, like, from an economist point of view, what do you think are the most crucial elements for success in these types of strategic plans, or you can even think about it on a project basis? What do you think is the most crucial element for success as an economist?
As an economist, I would say that rebuilding ownership for the local economies is very important, and recovering some fields of sovereignty. In terms of energy, in terms of, well, that's what ownership means, no? That it's the locals, it's the people who it's able to decide about how things work, no, and how things are managed. And yeah, I think that the problem is that people sees like economy as something in the air, no? That there's I don't know a hidden committee, don't know where, that is deciding, no? And this complot, no, theories, and no, the economy is what we do every day. Yeah. It depends on our daily decisions and our daily acts, and to make people understand that the local economy, it's not a question of being protectionist. It's a question of understanding that the economy works. It's a flow, and if this flow, you have flows of income, no, to Barcelona, but these flows, as they come, they go. You have nothing. You must find ways to get these flows of income, of resources stuck in the territory, or at least to circulate as much as you can. And this is the multiplier effect, no? And it's lesson 1 of microeconomy 1.1. And this is only possible if there is ownership of the economy from the people, no? And that means that they are involved in the businesses and companies. It doesn't mean that it's everything public, but it means that people is involved in economic decisions.
Yeah. Really, really interesting to see your perspective there. And okay, now economist hat is taken off. And now as a geographer, same question, what do you think is the most crucial element for success?
Is to understand that cities, it's like cities have 5 dimensions. So you can see the city, or if you want to govern a city, you need to take into account 5 dimensions. The first dimension is the city as a living body, is the metabolism of the city. So the city has resources, takes resources every day from the rest of the world, no, but usually from the immediate surroundings of the city, water and food and so on. Anyway, it takes resources and it generates waste. No? This is the metabolism of the city, as the metabolism as humans. And you must understand that this covers, of course, as I said, these now are mostly global processes, but you have this concept of ecoregion or bioregion. It means this, no? It's the mainland where the city has its footprint, no? And in the surroundings. This is one concept. It's a geographical concept. The second one is the functional city. The functional city is related with our day-by-day lives and the commuting, and where do we go for to study or for work, or to visit our relatives or to take care of others. This is it's the dimension that is more linked to what we understand as a metropolitan area or region, no? Because it's related with commuting, with everyday lives and activities. This is a second dimension, and it's not easy that it's the same dimension that in terms of territory that the first one. They are usually different. The third one is the administrative city. So it's the boundaries, the administrative boundaries that we have in our cities. For instance, in Barcelona, in the metropolitan region of Barcelona, we are talking about 5 million inhabitants in 150 municipalities, 6 different counties, 1 province, 1 region, blah, blah. There are a lot of administrative boundaries that are there. Singapore is 5 million inhabitants, and it's 1 city, 1 state, it's only one, so they have not this boundaries. So this is the context matters, and the institutional context matters. So we have this third dimension, and of course we know that it's not the same dimension that the functional one. So that's the reason that we need all these municipalities to cooperate into metropolitan policies. The fourth one is the identity. Where do we belong? Which is our community. Are we identified with our neighborhood, with our city, with the metropolis? I said no. Spoiler, no. The neighborhood, city. Well, it's so you have to combine the metabolic dimension, the functional dimension, the administrative dimension, and the identity dimension, and then you have the flows, the global flows of wealth and and resources and investments and so on is the fifth one. And from the city, the only thing that you can do is how to attract it and how to use these 5 dimensions. So from the geographical point of view, the challenge is how to govern a territory that is influenced by these 5 different dimensions that are not easily shaped, in the same governance tools and the same governance processes. No.
Really, really interesting to hear all your thoughts on that. I always like to give an open floor now, and that's to let you speak to anything that we haven't yet gotten the chance to talk about today. Is there anything that you really want listeners to know? Anything that you're really passionate about that we didn't yet get the chance to talk about? Would you like to take the open floor?
No. What I'm looking, because I think it's a difference. This is a difference from Urban Future and other conferences and other places. That is focus on innovative solutions and to asking different questions that the typical questions that we have in other gatherings like this. No, so I found very interesting that the different points of view, and of course everything that is related on how to innovate in governance and how to make these 5 dimensions that I mentioned before of the city work together, and that's the only possibility to make cities flourish and thrive. It's our interest and how to involve people on this. We are working, or we want to work. We started working with citizen labs in Barcelona and with the citizen science processes. I want to learn more about this and the different experiences of the cities working on this and making them work for the general governments and the policy, as not only as a matter of governments, but as a matter of all the society, the social, all the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing. Now we get to play a little game.
Okay.
It's a segment that is one of my favorite segments called Roll with the Punches.
Roll with the punches. Answer this or that questions quickly and with your first instincts.
So I'll ask, some of them are kind of silly, some of them are more related to what we were just speaking about, and you just answer. You have to pick one or the other. And you just go through it quickly. And then at the end, we can talk a little bit more if you want to explain your answers.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay, perfect. Very confident. I like it. Most people are like, yeah, sure.
I'll do my best.
Yes, I believe in you. It's not as complicated as it sounds. So, good. Urban planning or innovation?
Innovation.
Paella or tapas?
Paella.
Electric vehicles or public transportation
Public
improvements?
transportation.
Coastal towns or mountainside?
Coastal town.
That's the one that stumps you. Vertical farming or community gardens?
Said the first one?
Vertical farming.
Yes, this one.
Yes. Economics or geography?
Oh, okay. Let's say geography.
Public policy or community engagement?
Community engagement.
Very good. All right. Do you want to explain any of your answers?
Well, I must say something about geography or economics because I think that they work better together.
Yeah.
And the dominance now is for the economy side. So I prefer now the geography side.
Yeah, makes sense. And you said innovation over planning.
Yeah, because urban planning, if it is not innovative, it won't adapt or it won't be able to face the challenges because we have a changing world, a changing environment. And so urban planning, if you get stuck to urban planning, you need more flexible tools to make it work better. So I think that innovation, of course, it's more or less the same. Okay, we had a lot of urban planning and no that much innovation. We need innovation in urban planning too.
Yeah, very good. Anything else you want to explain? Are you all good with how it's left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it depends on the paella or tapas. It depends on who makes the paella and who
makes the tapas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good point. All right. So now we're at the very final question. It's a question that we ask every single guest, and it's to you: what is a smart city?
A smart city, for me, a smart city is a city. So then a community of people that knows where they want to go and get into action using the community resources, their wisdom, their knowledge, and their hands to make it possible. So they get into action to achieve a common future, of course, for better.
Yeah, good. No, it's always just interesting because everyone has a different way of explaining it, and they're all very valid and very useful to take into account. So over these episodes, I've gathered all these different thoughts, and they all play into my overall image of what a city can be. So thanks so much. And I want to take a second and say, thank you to Urban Future once again for hosting us. If you missed Urban Future Conference also this year, you can go to next year in Rotterdam. I hope I'll also see you there again. And thank you so much for all of your valuable insights. Yeah, you want to
just one more thing, because next year, from September to next September, 23, 24, Barcelona will be the European capital of democracy. And it's very important for us because it will allow us to test some participatory processes or new tools, innovations at metropolitan level. So I think that related to what I said before, I think that it's important to make people know that from September on, we will have a lot of activities and participation processes, discussions and experiments and.
So we're all invited to your favorite place for paella.
Sure.
Okay, good. We won't miss it. So thank you so much for all of your insights and knowledge and for playing along and for talking with me today, even through the heat of the day. So thank you so much. It's really valuable to have you.
You're welcome. Here and in Barcelona.
Yes, I'll see you there.
Thank you all for listening. I'll see you at the next stop on the journey to a better urban life.